Thanks for joining us. We are Alive at 5, and we've got a different kind of show today, a special show. We're hoping to pull back the curtain a bit on the process we go through in the newsroom as journalists. A story today is a good example that we want to share with you. Before we get started, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook if you want to be part of this conversation. I'm here with Jennifer Bellamy and Reveal investigator Faith Abube. And Faith, you're joining us today because you discovered that one of Georgia's senators had a plan that he was planning to submit to make schools safer. And when you checked in about covering it further, your access was denied.
Yes.
And that is the issue we really want to talk today about: access to information from public officials that potentially have a great impact to the public.
Yes, so this is how we get information and share it with our viewers. This is how we do our research. This is how we get the news. A lot of people ask about how do you get the news. This is how we get the news. We go to these events, we learn about what these public officials are talking about, we research it further, and we bring you the fact. Well, in this situation, we heard that Senator Perdue was touring a local school, which is a public place, and he's an elected official, taxpayer paid, and he was going to be talking about public safety, student safety specifically, mass shootings, and how we can make schools safer. So we asked for permission to be at this event, and we were basically told no. We have our hand-picked reporter that we want to give access to, and we'll give them the exclusive, and you're not going to be getting access to this event. So it was really shocking to us. When we pushed back further, they basically said we want to limit our footprint at the school. This is a school in session. We don't want to disrupt classes, so we just want a small group of people there. So we offered a pool, which is something that we do all the time. For example, when the president comes to town and he's serving, let's say, tornado damage, for example, we'll get a pool together, and all the stations will agree that one person shoots it and gives everybody the raw, unedited, and we all work on it.
So the key there is it's equal access to all journalists in the city, unedited. So that it's not hand-selected bits of information,
yes.
right? Okay.
But they disagree. They didn't want to do that either. They said, we will send you our quotes after we're done. We'll send you our video after we're done, and you can report on that. And that's not how journalism works.
This is a little bit different as well, because sometimes, you know, different reporters get leads, they work and really hustle to get some information on a specific story. And if that's an exclusive and that's work that you did, that's one thing. But in this case, this is a major issue that we have been talking about for years and years now. And so I think so many people would be really interested to see what our elected official has to say, what the plan is, and what they're doing to see firsthand what the situation is here on the ground, and get that information out to the public as best as possible.
I want to get to some of the comments here. There's a lot more I want to cover here, but let's start with a few of the comments. First with Mark. I think Mark had the same reaction as many of us. He says, wait, what? Why would Senator Perdue not want press to cover this? What he's reacting to, I think, is what Jennifer is mentioning. This is an issue of public safety, perhaps the most important issue for most families in Metro Atlanta and across the state of Georgia. Why wouldn't you want to have the loudest, widest reaching megaphone on a plan like this? So that was Mark's perspective. Mitch says, won't your L&S arrangement get you all the footage? That speaks to that pool situation that Faith was saying, where all the stations work together, send one photographer. But he goes on to say, but I understand your point about equal access. Exclusives happen once in a while, but not usually in this kind of situation, implying public official, public safety issue in a public place. This is a story that most Atlanta media would want to cover. Absolutely true. I think those are really, really good points, because we know there are relationships like you talked about. People have exclusives, and that happens often. But there are stories that rise beyond that. And you said something, Faith, I want to circle back to about the Perdue's team saying, we'll send you quotes, we'll send you video. That is managing a message. That's managing a message. Both sides do it. Both sides are, that's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to manage their message. But we're supposed to not just reiterate a managed message. We're supposed to ask questions, right? Exactly. Especially in a campaign year. Yeah. Even more important to be diligent on that point.
Yes, and my conversation with them the day before yesterday, the press office was basically asking, so what would be your story? And that shouldn't matter. we should get the fact the way you give it to everyone else, and then we will cover it in a very fair and balanced way. But she wanted to know what spin would be put on the story before even deciding whether to give us access. And I thought that was problematic as well. And so they decided to go with the friendly reporter, a reporter, quote, we've worked with in the past, a reporter we have a relationship with. So they know that reporter will do the story the way they would like, maybe not ask questions outside the event or be just kind to them in general. So I just find it problematic that a public official will restrict access to a discussion about an issue that's so important to all of us, especially since we've had issues happen so far in Metro Atlanta schools.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting because oftentimes you don't know what a story is until you get there. If this congressman is going to be at a school and say different things or make remarks, you need to see where that story is going to happen, what comments he's going to make. I can't just say arbitrarily, this is what my story is going to be, because you don't know yet. It hasn't unfolded, and that's important in the journalistic process to let something happen and then bear the facts out. But, I mean, you can't say that without knowing what's going to happen, and if you're not allowed to go, then what?
Yeah.
And it happens all the time that people in positions will choose someone they feel like is friendly to them or they have a relationship with. That always happens, right? That happens very often. But when we're talking about issues with a broader significance, the hope is that that information at some point will be shared equally, because you want to know about that. We all should know about that. And I want to reiterate, this example today is from one specific team. These kind of questions happen all the time, and these are the conversations that should be happening in newsrooms, because we understand the elephant in the room is that a lot of people feel like there's not a balance. But the fight within this newsroom and many others across the country is to present both sides fairly and equally, and without access, we can't do that. So I really want to know what you think about this. It's just an interesting kind of behind the scenes conversation we wanted to bring out into the open today. I think they're important to have, especially now. I think they're always important to have. So would love your comments, love your perspective. Any questions you have, please fire those in as well, and we'll be happy to answer them. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can follow us on social media as well. Thank you, Faith. Appreciate your insight today. Thank you, Jennifer. Have a great day.